Tonight on Closer Look, after a handmade quilt to honor residential school survivors was taken from the Timmins Museum, it's now been safely returned. Timmins Today reporter Marissa Lentz-McGrath joins us with the latest tonight from Timmins. Marissa, let's start with the quilt itself and its significance. Who made it and what were the circumstances surrounding its disappearance?
It was made by Vanessa Génier, who is the studio manager at Quilts for Survivors, which is a not-for-profit organization that creates and distributes quilts to residential school survivors across Canada. The piece features a digitally printed panel by Indigenous artist Karen Erickson, depicting the journey of children who attended residential schools. And the design incorporates traditional colors like orange and elements that hold cultural and symbolic significance. The quilt took 50 hours to make and was on display at the museum as part of the Art of Healing series put on by Mushkegowuk Council. On February 18th, Catherine found out from the organizer of the exhibit that the quilt was stolen by a woman and that museum staff were reviewing the security footage.
All right. Now, Marissa, you mentioned in your story the strong community response. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, what it looked like? Were there organized searches, social media campaigns, or other specific actions taken by the community that contributed to the quick return of the quilt?
When the quilt was stolen, Catherine shared the news in a Facebook post, and within an hour it had been shared hundreds of times. People were really just urging the person who took it to return it.
Marissa, considering the quilt's symbolic importance and the emotional impact of its theft, has the museum or Quilts for Survivors discussed any changes to security protocols or display practices to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future?
So at this point, the museum hasn't shared many details regarding the incident. However, Vanessa Génier, the founder and CEO of Quilts for Survivors, did inform me that the quilt was the only piece in the exhibit that wasn't nailed down or protected by glass.
So Génier stated she doesn't care who took it or why, just glad that it's back. Given the unusual method of return, which was through the library book drop, was there any security camera footage or other evidence collected from the library or museum that might provide some clues about who returned the quilt?
No details have been disclosed about any footage. As the investigation continues, more information will likely emerge, but for now, details remain limited.
All right. Now, following the incident, Quilts for Survivors planning to organize a wall-hanging workshop aimed at youth. Tell us more about their plans for that.
So they're planning 2 panel making classes, one in March and another in April. Vanessa said they're hoping to secure sponsorship for youth participation and offer a separate session for adults where participants would pay a $100 fee to take home their completed wall hanging.
All right, Marissa Lentz-McGrath reporting from Timmins on tonight's Closer Look.